So Ben, looking at your IMDb, you were born in 1988.
Right.
You love John Hughes movies, and John Hughes was already making films by this time. Where does this love for 80s films come? And do you feel you were born at the wrong time?
I used to say in the past that I was born in the wrong time because I used to love the 60s so much. But as I grew up, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago, I just fell into this love for 80s movies. My all-time favorite are John Carpenter, William Friedkin, John Hughes, these kind of people who use the genre film as a way to convey a story, as a starting point to just tell a bigger story. I love how, and the Coen brothers are still doing that. For me, the Coen brothers are still doing kind of an 80s genre, kind of cinema. And I love the way in the 80s, the genre was a starting point to tell a much bigger story with political implications or metaphysical implications.
For me, I remember the movie Gotcha. I don't know if you remember that movie, Linda Ferrantino and Anthony Edwards. And even though it was about a serious subject, there was still an element of play.
Right.
And I miss that about so many films.
That's so true. I mean, especially the blockbusters and the studio movies in the 80s used to have this playfulness, as you were saying, which I think relates to. I mean, nowadays we are in a postmodern age where, I mean, a lot of filmmakers are kind of obnoxious by making movies. Because some of them are aware of that, but I think that some of them are not, because it's also, we live in a time where, I mean, we have cinematics and places where we see a lot of movies, old movies, all the time. And I think that cinema, of course, is becoming more and more an art, and we are restoring, preserving movies, and it can be cumbersome sometimes because we feel like we are standing on the shoulders of giants, of the people who came before us. And that's true that I love the 80s movies in a way because they were so playful and they were so not pretentious at all. I mean, when you look back at the blockbusters of the 80s, they were not so pretentious. And that's why I think like a movie, for example, like Guardians of the Galaxy right now is doing so well at the box office because it has this kind of not rebel spirit, but I mean it has this playfulness and this not pretentious aspect to it. Even though you can like it or not like this movie, but you have to recognize that it has this playfulness that Hollywood cinema and blockbusters used to have in the 80s.
It seems like, too, there was a lot of cameos
right.
from people, and sometimes they weren't even really stars. They were just known for being like in movies, and like you never really knew what they did.
Yeah.
But so do you miss that? Do you think? I mean, we still see it somewhat today, but maybe with, a musician. But is that something that also intrigued you?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about John Hughes. It was not in Breakfast Club. I think it was in Ferris Bueller. The cameo of Charlie Sheen, I mean, is amazing. It's like, I mean, the image of Charlie Sheen in his perfecto leather, jacket is like standing in the camera. It's so funny, and he's on camera for like 5 or 10 seconds, no more. And yeah, I love this idea of coming back to John Hughes and these kind of directors who had this group of people, of actors following them and just working with them, and they could call them and just propose them a cameo, just a small thing into a movie.
Right. Do you want to bring that back? I mean, I think was it Staying Alive, Sly Stallone bumps into John Travolta and like the opening shot, it's so great. And is that something that you want to incorporate? There's an element of play, even though it was a sort of a serious film, Staying Alive.
Yeah, I love this playfulness, and for me it was, it's something I love these blockbusters back in the day where this playfulness, this game with the audience and this way of just getting the audience in and playing with them along. Yeah, so I think nowadays it's sometimes a lot of blockbusters and even indie movies. I mean, a lot of movies right now I think are really sometimes too aware of what they're doing, and it's like they have to make references and they have to be serious. It's like, and I mean, for me, the line of the Joker in Chris Nolan's Dark Knight, like, why so serious? It could apply also to movie making right now. It's movie making is getting, I think, too serious. I mean, it's like, it's so serious. You want to say, like, make some joke. Take a joke and just laugh at it. I mean, to make the process even more fun for the audience. So yeah, I think we lost the fun part of making movies. I mean, a lot of people lost it, and you can feel that in the movies.